What's up, my Yugi Bros? I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0. Welcome to Casual Friday. So this is a new segment that I decided to try out, just to kind of shed off my business casual for a little while, and just hang out and just talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! So I don't have to be so serious with you guys about Yugitubing. This is something I'm going to do every couple of Fridays. I am just going to sit here and I'm going to talk some Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm probably usually going to have some kind of product to open and review. This week it's going to be the Light Sworn Structure deck. I'm going to have a good soda with me because I'm a man of simple pleasures. And I'm just going to talk about a few things having to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! This is a great time for question and answer. So if y'all have some questions for me that you just want me to answer about anything Yu-Gi-Oh! Related or not, just let me know in the comment section down below. I'll probably be doing my channel announcements and updates and stuff like that at the end of every Casual Friday. And if there are any topics you guys want me to talk about having to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! That you haven't seen me do a video on yet, this is a great time to do it. Please remember, if you like this segment this week, hit that thumbs up button, because if I get enough likes on this video, I'm going to actually put in the effort to figure out how to do this as a live stream, which I think would be super cool. So let's get down to it. So here we go. I am going to be using my handy dandy, beautiful, beautiful Grand Soil and Molten Glacia playmat because it's my absolute favorite. So that's what I'm going to be doing my product reviews on. And so this week I'm going to be reviewing the Light Sworn Structure deck. I'm going to be drinking Som Drinking Vinegar. This is raspberry flavored. It sounds super hipster, but it's really tasty. You just mix a little bit in with some soda water and it's really tangy and nice. That's what I'm going to be drinking today. I'm probably going to divert from the subject quite a bit to talk about some other things Yu-Gi-Oh! Related that I think of while I'm talking about whatever product I'm reviewing. At the end, I'm going to do some channel announcements. So let's open this thing up. I was just finishing up some errands today when I decided to buy the Light Sworn Structure deck. I was actually bringing my latest eBay order to the post office, which I do have an eBay page. I will link it to you guys down below. Anyway, when I decided why not, since I'm on vacation, I can get a gift to myself and get the Light Sworn Structure deck because I absolutely love opening structure decks. Like, I get really weirdly excited about opening structure decks. I think this must be like the censor card things that you don't walk away with it. But I just really love opening structure decks, even more than I like opening up packs. Like, it doesn't have the suspense to it, but there's something really nice about just holding this solid pack of cards when you open it, and you're like guaranteed to get some good stuff. And it comes with an ultra rares and super rares, which are my favorite rarity. By the way, just a little diversion here. Like, first off, Michael is a beautiful ultra rare. I mean, look at that thing. But like, ultra rares and super rares are my favorite rarity. Everybody has their shinies that I like, but just ultras and supers are really nice. I think it's partially because they've just got that like really simple foil background to them, which they aren't anything like hugely flashy, but they're also just like historically really valuable cards, because back in the days, like early days of the games, the good cards came as super rares and ultra rares. The secrets were nice, but they were usually just collector's stuff, but the super rares and ultra rares were things like Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Raigeki, MST, Torrential, Mirror Force, things like that. They were always coming as ultras. So they have that nice foil background that looks really solid, and the ultra, just that gold lettering is just really nice. Let me know down below what your favorite rarity is. I just love ultras. Let's actually talk about this structure deck itself. First off, Michael has a really funny looking face. Like, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you definitely can't notice it on the card. But he's got this like super determined face on him. But really, serious review time. This structure deck looks really great. Like, it comes with a ton of reprints that I'll talk about while I'm opening it, but it's also super good for sealed play, because it's got like basically everything this deck needs to function really well. I mean, it isn't really competitive, but a sealed play with this deck actually looks like it would be a ton of fun. So I would highly recommend it just for that. If you want to have a fun event with your friends, you can sit down and open a couple of Light Sworn Structure decks and just get down to playing with them. Let's check out this playmat. I like my paper playmats because oftentimes they actually have really nice designs on them. So, ooh, look at that thing. That's actually nicer than the mats you're going to get for going to nationals. It's a little bit cluttered, but it's nice. It's a paper play mat. Got a good design. All the monsters that I want on them. Man, how about that nationals play mat? Oh man, it looks so ugly. I'm so glad I went to nationals last year when I got the mermail mat. Let's open up this structure deck. Let's bust it open. I'll just be reviewing some of the cards as I go along, some of the reprints and stuff like that, talk about their impact on the game, and just talk some Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, probably later on in this video, I am going to be discussing the first round of the next great Yugituber, or the second round, and talk about the kinds of things we're going to be doing with that. Look at that card. Look at Michael. That's just a beautiful card. It's a really good card, too. It's extremely diverse in its uses. I've been looking at the possibility of, now that this card is out, using an agent deck with artifacts in it, because this card is really easy to make because you can just summon Earth with an artifact on the board and you can synchro for him, and that's super good. You get the plus off the artifact and off Earth, and then you can use this guy. It's just a freaking amazing card. I'm super happy that this card is out. There are just a ton of ways that you can use this card, and it's super easy to put on the board in this format, and it just looks pretty as nuts. This card, I think I've reviewed this card before. It's absolutely terrible, but it looks nice. The art is absolutely beautiful, if you can just look at that right there. And of course, it's an ultra rare, which I am biased toward. So Minerva is an interesting card. I'm going to talk about that for a little while before Ride-In. It's kind of got mixed feelings associated with it, because its normal summon effect isn't that great, but I actually really like the deck thinning ability that you get out of it when you mill it. Or when you discard it for Lumina, because it's got a little bit of that marginal Yu-Gi-Oh theory to it that I talk about, and that Patrick Hoban has talked about, where you want to thin your deck as much as possible. If you can get that one more deck, then it's really great. And even if you draw it, it isn't particularly dead, because if you're going to discard something with Lumina, this is a decent thing to discard. It also makes Lumina into a possible Leviair play, which is really nice, and you can also make level 6 monsters with it. Level 6s aren't that great in terms of synchro monsters right now, but it is something to be considered, and when it's discarded, I mean, you just get that extra mill. It's an interesting card. It's really polarizing. I'd run it at 2, but a lot of people just aren't running it at all. Let's move on to Ride-In. Ride-In is the big guy of this deck. He looks really good, by the way. Check out that art, and the super rare, and everything. This card actually has just tons of implications for the metagame right now. For decks like Junk Doppel, which I know that Speedy Steve is going to be talking about, this card is really great because it speeds up the deck. I think it's actually really great for a couple of other decks, including various Dragon Ruler variants, including the Lightsworn Dragon Ruler variant, because it allows you to dig deeper into the deck. Anything that really uses graveyard setup besides Sylvans, because they require the excavate mechanic. This card is really good. Level 4 tuners are just historically like really good cards to have around. If you can get one that's generic, it's just freaking amazing. It's really nice that this card can go up to 1900 attack in this deck, because it gives you an extra beater that I just really love this card. It's got tons of implications for the metagame. It'll be especially good even in Shaddles. I think that people have been ignoring this in terms of what it can do for Shaddles, but this card has potential mill 4, plus it has the ability to ignition mill, which is something that's really nice for Shaddles, because it means that you can get their effects during your turn and use them for setup and things like that. So I actually really like Ride-In for Shaddles, and it's an interesting card to have around. And of course, you've got to have one of the bad cards hanging around. Alexandrite Dragon. I think it's just so that they can use Minerva better. But it's a light monster, you know. This gets reprinted in basically every structure deck. There was this rumor going around because of the Konami article that JD was going to be a level 2, but I'm glad that that turned out not to be true, even though it would have made Minerva awesome, because if you had 2 Lightsworns in your grave, then you could search JD with Minerva. It would have been really funny. But it's really nice to have an easy-to-get JD reprint. This structure deck is just going to make the Lightsworn deck really easy to make. Even with the Dragon Ruler variant, all you really need to make the deck work are the extra deck cards. There's Graganeth, which isn't one of the best Lightsworns. Celestial looks totally ugly as a common. I'm just going to put that out there. But it's nice to have all the Lightsworns with PSCT. We get 2 Jane, which is okay. Jane is a decent Lightsworn. There aren't actually that many really good Lightsworn monsters. I'd say the really good Lightsworn monsters are Lumina, and then of course Lila, which we also get 2 of, and then Raiden, and I suppose to some degree Wolf and Garroth. They're just like, the vast majority of Lightsworn monsters are actually really bad, but Garroth is a really nice thing to get out of the structure deck. Wolf, that's awesome because this comes with Foolish Burial, which means that you can get your Wolf out early. That's why I talk about this deck being really good for sealed play. It's because you get multiples of really good cards, and you also get things to make the other cards live. Look at that double Lumina, really nice to get. Arcus, of course. Shire, Shire's okay. Double Raikou, that's all right. Raikou's always a nice reprint to have because I always forget about mine. He has really interesting PSCT. Do you see this PSCT on him? It's a new thing. It says flip, apply these effects in sequence. And the first one has a little bubble next to it. It says you can target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. And then the second one says send the top 3 cards you did act to the graveyard. So it's just, it makes sure that that we know exactly how this thing works because there have been so many disputes in the past between judges as to how Raikou works. Also, check out the Light Ray monsters that we get with this deck. Light Ray Diabolos, Light Ray Daedalus. Daedalus isn't so much of a good reprint because it was common, but it's nice to have the Light Ray Diabolos reprint, and then a Violin Prism because why not? Fabled Raven is pretty cool. Fabled Cerberell is really interesting because you can discard it with Lumina to get a Lightsworn from the grave, and that allows you to go for Michael and make some other plays. Interesting reprint to have in here, to have 2 Fabled monsters. Check out that Blackwing Zephyros, the Elite reprint. Ooh, super happy about that. I love this card. Makes this deck even better in sealed play just to have that around. And of course the Necro Gardener reprint that was obligatory. Realm of Light isn't that great, but ooh, that Common Solar Recharge reprint. That's super cool to have around because it makes this card really easy to get. It's not particularly attractive, but for its utilitarian use, it's really nice. Charged with Light Brigade, of course. Monster Reincarnation, once again, makes this deck really good for sealed play. Foolish Burial, same thing. The various old Lightsworn trap cards, which are, they aren't very good. Vanquishing Light is actually a really interesting card. And then, of course, you have to have Beckoning Light, Skill Successor, and the real reprint we were all waiting for, Breakthrough Skill. I actually, like, this card on its own makes the deck worth it. So that's the Lightsworn structure deck. I absolutely love this structure deck. It's fabulous. I enjoy opening structure decks already, but when it has so many good cards like Raiden, Breakthrough Skill, Zephyros, and Michael, just look at that Michael. I can't get over how nice that looks. It's just a really great buy for you to get, especially if you want to try that sealed play that I was talking about before. I'm just going to take a sip of my soda before I continue to talk about round 2 of the next great Yugituber. I'm just going to kind of bring this back up here. So round 2 of the next great Yugituber, I'm actually kind of worried about because it's something that I am not particularly well known for doing this kind of thing. We're supposed to be making comedy slash like pure entertainment videos, and I'm not actually all that experienced in making things purely for entertainment and not necessarily for info. I've been thinking of doing like a parody deck profile or something like that. Some kind of parody video would be fun. I've been considering also making just a totally stupid deck and then going on to some dueling website, dueling network or something like that, and playing around with it for a little while, just having some fun, going crazy with it. I think that would be fun, but I'm not certain how entertaining it would be. I'd love to hear what you guys think of that. And so I'm just kind of freaking out about that just because it's not something that I do normally. So if you guys have any ideas for that, that would be absolutely awesome. So that's basically what I've got for you guys for Casual Friday. Let's finish off with some channel updates. So I'm really close to approaching the 2,000 mark, and just for funsies, I think that my big marker is going to be 2014, because it's 2014 now and I'm approaching 2014 subscribers, but I'm also approaching 200,000 video views. So I'm planning on doing a contest, and I'm not certain what I want that contest to be, so you guys should let me know down below, but I also am trying to decide whether I want to have that contest be my 2014 contest, just for fun, or to have it be my 200,000 video view contest. That would be super cool. A couple of other channel updates. A really big one that I have to let you guys know about is I just had one of my videos taken off for having illegitimate activity. on it, so it was taken down for a violation of terms of service, and I didn't do that. Because I didn't know that you could do that before. I didn't know there was such thing as illegitimate activity, and apparently there are like bots that reload your video like hundreds of times a second. But if it's somebody out there on my channel, please stop doing it, because if I violate the terms of service, apparently a few more times, and I might have my channel taken away, and that would be no fun for anybody, because I would have to restart on a totally different channel. I'd lose all my videos, and that would just be nasty. So please, please do not do that. If you were doing that before, you don't have to let me know who you are. Just please stop for the sake of everybody else on the channel. Another update that I'm going to be doing, I do have a Judge Gripe next Tuesday, which I haven't done for a while, mostly because I've been having good Tuesdays, so I haven't felt the need to rant and rave, but also I just haven't thought of anything that I really need to judge gripe about, aside from one thing that I just thought about this week, which is why I'm doing that next week. I have a couple of other segments coming up. I'm going to be talking about Banisher of the Radiate sometime next week. It's also ARGCS Philly this weekend, and also the European Nationals, so I'll probably have some deck breakdowns, deck analyses for you guys, so those are just some things to look forward to. Anyway, I hope you guys liked Casual Friday today. If you guys did like it, hit that thumbs up button, because that lets me know that you guys want me to do a live stream. Let me know down in the comments if there are any things you want me to do to improve Casual Friday, and just talk about all the things I said you could talk about, and I guess more. So thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, the RJB0, and I guess I got a jet. See you guys.